Okay, so this is kind of my reaction to the video about sugar being a killer. That video was not only eye-opening, but it reminded me of several things that I'm passionate about, and this is literally why I'm here, okay, to talk about these things. And what's so interesting, and I know I continue to say this, I say this in a lot of my videos, is that depending on the health professional you talk to, all of these opinions are similar but different, and there's a lot of different lenses that people look through when they talk about nutrition and health. So as a personal trainer and certified fat loss specialist, those are the two certifications that I do have, aside from being in the coaching industry and having experience for the last 5+ years, doing lots of my own research and having really great mentors in the health industry, such as registered dietitians and holistic health practitioners. So these are all good experiences, and this is just kind of my viewpoint and my standpoint based off of the education that I do have and the lifestyle that I kind of preach to live, right? So this is really interesting, this conversation about sugar, because there's definitely a relationship between health status, the way it's changed and the way we approach it even over the last 30 years. And you think about 30 years, and it's not that long of a time frame when you think about how long, like, humans have been around. 30 years is not very long. And a lot of it, and it is all science-based, and this video does talk about this, is people make very confident, this is it type claims to get a point across when it comes to things like sugar, or this epidemic where sugar is everywhere. It's part of our culture. But there are holes in the data, and we, as the person viewing this information, just need to keep that in mind too, that this is, people are like, scientists are constantly learning more about this topic. They're constantly learning more about the gut biome. They're constantly learning more about how all of these different factors influence our general health. And so, is there a correlation between sugar and diabetes? Yes. Does that make sense? Yes. Do we want to limit our sugar? Yes. There are a lot of other things, though, that have to do with general health. I've heard several health professionals say that in the last 10 years, there's been way more kids with diabetes. There's been way more kids with even 10-year-olds with heart conditions and heart disease. It has a lot to do with a lot of different things. One huge thing being their diet. I believe that a healthy diet makes for a healthy life, and when we put a huge emphasis on that, we really can unlock a lot of potentials that we didn't even know possible. So many things that you wouldn't even realize, and they're little minute changes too. It's not like you do it for a month and then all of a sudden your life has changed forever. It has to be a consistent pattern, and those changes you'll notice over time. Like when I look at my skin 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was in college, my skin was entirely different than it is now. I mean, I have a couple active blemishes right now down here, but I mean, for the most part, I have very clear skin. And I did not have clear skin 3 years ago when I was drinking alcohol every weekend and, eating dining hall food and all those things. If that's the stage of life you're in right now, we can enjoy those things, but we also, need to know that they do influence us. And I know for some of the ladies that I work with, this can be definitely an anxiety-provoking topic, or something that we just feel overwhelmed by, because, and sometimes I do too, because there's so much you feel like you have to do right, and there's a lot of pressures to do everything right. But at the same time, this is life, and this is where the word moderation comes in. I shared in the nutrition education group the part of the video where they talk about what is moderation when it comes to sugar, specifically added sugar.
Moderation is 6 to 9 teaspoons of added sugar per day. That's moderation. That's what the American Heart Association says. The World Health Organization just said up to 12 teaspoons of.
For the sake of what is 25 grams, this actually adds up to exactly 25 grams of added sugar. So the sticky note says how many grams of added sugar are added to the food. And so this is what will be considered moderation for 6 teaspoons of added sugar every day or 25 grams. So this starts with mindfulness. It's not to say our goal is 0 grams of added sugar. It's to say we can do better. So, looking at this, you might be like, oh my gosh, I wonder what my numbers look like. Now, I would say I don't necessarily maybe eat these things every day, but I would say I do get 25 grams of added sugar every day. Looking at these things right here, 9 grams of added sugar for the jelly. I would like these two, you can see are the highest. So I got the chocolate Kodiak pancake mix because OMG, it sounded so good. I don't always get the chocolate one. I'm actually kind of curious what the original blend for added sugar looks like. But in comparison to a regular pancake, it might be the difference of like maybe 3 grams of added sugar. So still a higher number. The ingredients on here are friendly. Okay, so we do have the whole grain. We have the protein blend. We're going to see more of an enriched flour being used in just like a traditional pancake mix. So there are positive swaps there, and just because it has 8 grams of added sugar doesn't mean we can't ever eat it again. But connecting these dots and creating mindfulness and how we can create that 25 grams of added sugar gives us direction on kind of how to live out our day. We can give and take in some places and create a scenario that makes sense for us that we're not only excited about, but can carry on day to day. Here are 2 brands that I love for a variety of reasons, but both have 0 grams added sugar. So these are 2 healthy swaps that you can make. This is a more expensive spaghetti sauce, marinara sauce, but I feel good about buying it, and I might not buy it every time, but 9 out of 10 times I do, or maybe not 9, but like 8 out of 10 times I'll buy the better brand. And maybe if it's on sale, or maybe I am grocery shopping one day and I'm buying a variety of organic things in other food varieties, I might buy the not as expensive one that time. But weighing out when and if you buy organic or the more quality brands of some things, you kind of give and take, and over time you create a healthy stash. But this protein powder, I love this brand, has also 0 grams of added sugar. And maybe take a look at your protein powder and see, if you do protein powder, take a look at it and see how many grams of added sugar it has. If it has like even up near like 12, I would say is a lot. Or again, it just depends what the rest of your day looks like. But if that's even something you're doing 2 scoops of a day, I would look for another brand. This is one, again, that I really have liked. I think the flavor is good. I really like it. I think if you're switching to a natural brand, sometimes it can be a little bit of an adjustment. But just keep trying it, put it in smoothies, drink it with almond milk, drink it with water, mix it with cocoa powder, cacao, however you want to say it. And then that can be a good way to make it taste yummy. I would start with your approach towards eliminating sugar in your diet. It doesn't mean you need to give up fruit. It doesn't mean you need to give up potatoes. Those foods that have really great quality nutrients that are going to help you. We don't need to be afraid of them. We don't need to be afraid of a banana. We don't need to be afraid of an apple. There are more phytonutrients and nutrients in general in an apple. There's this really great visual I love, and I wish I had it with me right now. But picture a big tub of beets, okay? That is the amount of phytonutrients in an apple. The amount of phytonutrients in anything else is like this, okay? Like this, like so tiny. It's like 10 beads compared to, I don't even know, thousands. So don't be afraid of those foods, because that is what is giving you like superhero blood. That's what's giving you superhero brain power, superhero energy, a heart that can pump forever. Those things are so important. And just because they have sugar doesn't mean that we need to avoid them at all. We should be eating more fruits and veggies, hands down. I would just first start by being mindful of the added sugar in your food, and kind of add it up mentally as you're walking throughout your day and get an idea of what your numbers look like. And then make adjustments from there. There are things that you can swap out. A tomato sauce is a perfect example. Or or trying something new for breakfast, including more healthy fats and healthy proteins into your diet in all of your meals is so important. Eggs every morning, I stand by that. I will never throw an egg yolk away because there's a lot of great nutrients in an egg yolk. And there's great amount of protein in an egg also. So, make those swaps. Instead of having just a bagel and cream cheese on the way out of your door in the morning, just take the extra 10 minutes and make yourself an egg. You're gonna feel so much better and you're gonna set yourself up for the day. So create these habits and just continue walking with them, and they'll become easier over time because you'll be happier over time. You'll love the fact that you make eggs every morning. It'll be a highlight of your day, and there will be a time where you're never going to be able to go without it because it just makes you feel good. Those things will come, and if you're already there and you're continuing just to trying to focus on it, that's great. Have a good support system. Continue making those healthy swaps where you can, and don't be anxious about those couple times that you did have a bagel on your way out the door. It's going to happen. And on the day you had a bagel at work because work brought in bagels, just be mindful of what you're eating the rest of the day. So it's a matter of mindfulness and awareness, and looking at numbers and the nutrition labels is a really great place to start. So I think I covered mostly what I wanted to in this video. They always get so much longer than I planned for them to go. But yeah, have a great day.